Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ashworth Wealth Weekly Market Update. My name is Todd McChesney. We'll kind of jump into this week's slide. This slide is talking about the percentage of total payroll employment for the government workers versus the workers in the country as a whole. So when you think about it, you can see that the green line shows the federal workforce has actually decreased slightly over the last few decades as far as a percentage of total employment in the country. The state employment has actually been relatively the same, kind of gone up and down a little bit, but you can see that state employment is actually about 6 times as high as the federal employment, and then the two added together just under 15%. So when you look at what the current administration is trying to do, there will be some limitations on what they can actually accomplish. It's hard to do significant spending cuts when you're just looking at jobs in general. If we kind of look at the average federal employee earns about $106,000 a year. So if a 10% reduction in the federal workforce would really only save about $32 billion per year. Obviously $32 billion is a lot of money, but it doesn't do much of a dent into the $2 trillion deficit that's we're currently facing as a country. So it can be very, very difficult to make enough spending cuts with that area alone, especially when you consider that defense and national security related agencies make up about 70% of the federal employment, and that includes United States Postal Service workers. So it'll be difficult to downsize those areas. So especially when you consider also, in light of the latest airline issues, 90% of U.S. airport control towers do not even meet their current staffing targets. So will need to be some hiring there. So maybe there's some reshifting of what happens in government jobs, etc. So it'll be interesting to see how they do that. Obviously, the administration has a target with their DOGE program, DOGE standing for Department of Government Efficiency. There'll be some pushback on others from other people that are saying, hey, we don't like this is going on. That's part of the political process, so we'll kind of keep an eye on that. But it does look like if the administration wants to meet its target cuts, it's going to have to be not just cutting jobs or cutting agencies. It's going to have to also do, in their mind, finding waste and corruption in the system. If they can do that, it'll be remaining to see if they can do that and how they accomplish those goals. So anyway, so the big question is, how does this affect us as advisors and you as clients from a standpoint of your portfolios? Really, any time we can save money, that's probably a good thing. I think most economists will agree that spending inside the private sector fuels the economy much better than spending in the government sector. There are some disagreements on that with certain different political parties have different agreements on that, but most economists believe that having people keep their own money is better to grow the economy than the government spending money, even though both do stimulate the economy from time to time. So as we look at that, we want to stay properly diversified, make sure that we watch and see what's going on. We'll watch interest rates and see how those are affected by this as well. Ultimately, we're in a time where there's some change. We see this about every 4 years or every 8 years. It's not abnormal. The sky isn't falling if you're concerned about it. The sky isn't rising if you aren't concerned about it. So it really is just something that we have to deal with on a regular basis, and then accordingly plan for it from a portfolio standpoint to make sure we're taking advantage of long-term outlooks and proper diversification, etc. So anyway, hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us in the office. We're happy to sit down anytime, answer any questions. We look forward to seeing you next time, and we'll talk to you soon.